for a February day here in Virginia, this is definitely a really good sight to see. It's still a little cold. I don't want to break into the colonies. I know that they're already starting to produce brood. We will be going in here very soon, and I'm actually going to be splitting. I had one just land on me. We're going to be going in here probably in the next couple of weeks, and we do need to be splitting. That's kind of my goal. I'm going to be creating nukes from all of these colonies. Now, we did lose one. However, because of the fact that it's been so warm here, I started looking at what other beekeepers are doing in our area. I started noticing a few weeks ago, people were posting here in Virginia, now granted a little further south, but people were posting that they were already starting to catch swarms. It might be a bit early if you follow the textbook, but just like how I've kind of always approached beekeeping, you have a general idea on what you want to do, what you want to achieve. But your beekeeping methods could change day by day based on what you're approached with. But I don't necessarily mind my bees swarming. And I know people are probably like, what? You know, what are you talking about? Well, bees and swarming, that is just their way of reproducing. Now, one of the things that I do here on the farm is I actually set up swarm traps all around my farm. We've gotten pretty good on catching a few. And if we get a swarm that I don't catch, my hopes are that it goes off into the wild, finds a beautiful tree, and continues to produce and thrive and make generations and generations of bees. And maybe one day I'll catch them again. It's definitely reassuring to see all these girls fly. Let's go check them out. A hat and a hat. Yeah, I don't really feel like putting my entire suit on, and I hope I don't regret this. They don't seem, it's a new look. It's a new look. They don't seem to be too bothered by me. But let's go watch and see. One of my things that I really enjoy doing is I love coming up, especially this time of year, because you can really start to identify the colors of pollen and what they're bringing in, and then link it to some of the trees that are actually starting to bloom. So let's kind of see what we can see. Look at the girl's pollen. Do you see her? Oh, that is such a good sight to see. Let's go see. Oh my goodness. This one is very active bringing in pollen. Some bright, bright yellow. Look at that. I wanted to show you guys something really quick, but this is how I know that spring is coming. So the bees are starting to bring in pollen, but one of the first trees that we have that starts to bloom is a red maple tree. And it's really refreshing. Definitely not bad for a February day. Some very, very active girls among us. So I'm seeing a few girls with some dark orange pollen and a good amount that actually have a really bright yellow pollen. But it's a very good sign to see all of the girls bringing in pollen. And one of the reasons why it's a good sign for when you're starting to see your girls bring in pollen is because what are they doing? So they're bringing in pollen. That's going to turn into bee bread, which is then going to be fed to all the little babies, which is a good sign that your queen is laying. Look at that. That one's got like green pollen. Wow. here in the next couple of weeks, what we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna be setting up some swarm traps pretty soon and just checking them, making sure that they have what they need. I'll show you how we do some swarm traps. One of the other things that I did is the colony that we lost a couple weeks ago, I'm kind of watching it. And the reason why is because I left a little opening in there. Now I know that that's not very good practice because of the fact that you can actually get the wax moths that come in and they lay the eggs. But I'm curious if we will experience what we got to experience last year, where they will actually go and swarm into that unused colony. Now I left it open. I put the hive here, but what I did do is I just added one frame inside the hive so that it could draw them in. If it doesn't work, I'll take it and fill it with new bees. But for right now, I'm just curious if we might potentially get a swarm. I am seeing some activity, which is what I actually anticipated. Now, the comb that I left in there, the frame that I left in there, had a little bit of capped honey on it, and it had some nectar and some pollen. Other than that, I took everything else out and I put it in the freezer. My hopes are that I'll start noticing more and more activity here. If by chance I don't get an opportunity to set my swarm traps up, I at least have an empty vacant home for them that they might choose to go into. But there is some activity happening. But we're gonna leave it up and see if we can catch some bees. See if I can take this up without it getting, okay. Whew. Thank you guys for coming along with me and enjoying a little bit of our bees here on this gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous February day. In the next couple of videos, we will most definitely show you guys how we actually use our nuke boxes to turn into swarm traps. And then I'm also gonna show you guys what we do with that queen. Do you remember that queen that I actually took from the colony that had passed away? I'm gonna show you guys what we actually do with that and how we make a tincture so that we can actually use her to be able to draw in and lure in other swarms that we're potentially gonna get. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and learn something old.